Hello and welcome back. My name's V, and today I am going to tell you a story. This is the story about something that I've been asked for quite a bit, even since before I have changed my channel name to V Plays MMO. And this is the story about my logo, which eventually became my tattoo as well. So today I wanted to share a little bit about myself, about how this logo came to be in the first place, how I got this tattoo, and what this tattoo means for me in general. If you happen to be new to the channel and you enjoy some MMORPGs like Final Fantasy XIV, World of Warcraft, occasional Star Wars The Old Republic, and hopefully many more in the future, make sure to press that sub button. Now, at first, this little image was only supposed to be my profile picture, and this is something that I ordered from a Fiverr artist ages and ages and ages ago, and this is the only art that I ever ordered from them because I had a very clear vision of what I wanted. But eventually, this little icon spread onto my thumbnails, merch items, my business cards, tattoo, and a lot of other things and places that gave people the opportunity to see this art in the first place. Now, there are a couple of things about the avatar itself that you'll notice that might not be true anymore. First of all, the little picture has green hair, and this is because I made this avatar during a time when my hair was dyed very light green. And the picture that I sent to the artist actually had this green tint that they ended up putting into the image. Now, at the time, first of all, I didn't know how important this image was going to become for me. And second, I didn't really think that I would keep the green hair forever. But at the time, I had no plan, just like I have no vision for my hair right now, except for wanting to keep one side of it short and the other long. I don't know if I'm going to be blonde for the rest of my days, but it is something that I enjoy right now, and that is exactly how I treated my hair back then as well. Now, when it comes to what she is wearing in this image, you can see that she has a little robe, she has a wand, and a little hat, like a witch or a wizard's hat or whatever. And this is because at the time I was raiding in World of Warcraft, and I was raiding as an Affliction Warlock. Now, this is not my favorite class or my favorite warlock spec by any means, but it was a big part of my identity back then because while I was raiding, I was really raiding. And it was something that sort of became a part of my identity, and for a while I resonated with it. And since during that time I was creating World of Warcraft content and I was actively raiding as an Affliction Warlock, I decided that this would be my avatar, and I was completely okay with it. Now, I didn't choose any particular weapon from World of Warcraft or anything like that to be shown because the picture is very small, and I just wanted something to be able to put as an avatar for my YouTube channel. This is how it all started. And eventually, I ended up using that same picture for even my social media, for Twitch, for other profiles that I would make, even though eventually I went back to using my own face as an avatar on social media like Instagram, Twitter, and whatnot. A few days ago, I also published a video about my rebranding, and I went into this whole story of how I was raiding in World of Warcraft as an Affliction Warlock, how my actual name, as in V, came out from these raids and these sessions, and it turns out that that experience alone really ended up shaping my content into what it is today. Not necessarily in a way that I kept this identity, but there are pieces of myself that I built during this time that even though I don't raid Mythic anymore. I don't raid as an Affliction Warlock. I don't even raid in World of Warcraft anymore right now. Some of these things I have kept and embraced as a part of my identity. Not all of them were good. Some of them were extremely traumatic, extremely difficult to deal with. And I realized that in order to accept myself fully as a content creator, I have to also fully accept myself as a person with all of my experiences. And that experience is something that definitely made an impact on me as both creator and person. So rather than suppressing the memory of ever being there, of ever interacting with, with some of these people, I decided to embrace it. During this experience, I also made some really, really wonderful friends. One of them even ended up visiting me and my now ex-husband here in Serbia, and a few of them actually ended up playing Final Fantasy XIV later on, joined the same FC, and we ended up doing content together, raiding together a little bit, and it was overall just a very, very fun time and a very nice experience to be meeting all these people, creating these connections that would, last a very long time. Now, when it comes to the tattoo itself, this is not a tattoo that I had planned for a very long time. And also, there was a time when I said to myself and to others that I would never get a tattoo. This was not in my cards at all. And I knew that if I was to get a tattoo, that it would have to be something so meaningful for me that even when I'm old, and hopefully one day I'll be old, that I can take a look at and don't feel guilt or cringe or shame or anything of the sort. I can safely say that this tattoo has already paid off time-wise in a way that I've already been a content creator for such a long time that this tattoo is already forever going to remind me of a big chunk of my life rather than something that lasted a few months. And I don't personally think that I will regret it. And there's also another reason why I won't regret it. When it comes to this reason, this is something that I only realized months after I got this tattoo. And in a strange way, it ended up being a big motivator in my life. So during the time when I made the tattoo, I was still doing content as a part-time content creator. And during that time, I still had a full-time job, which seemingly doesn't have anything to do with my tattoo and with my content in general. But around that time, or actually a few weeks after I got the tattoo, I went through some really meaningful changes in my life that include losing the job, having problems with finding another part-time job, eventually getting another one, then not having that one anymore, and then just switching to full-time content creation. And I realized over time that this tattoo actually keeps me going, which I discovered in a very strange way. So, a very little known fact about me is that when I sleep on my tummy, and I normally have my hand in front of my face like this. And what I discovered after I got the tattoo is that I would open my eyes and that this tattoo is the first thing that I normally see in the morning. And that had a very strange effect on me in a way that I actually created a reminder for myself every single day that I need to get up and actually work on my content, because that content is now my sole source of income, the way we survive, and just something that I'm building for myself and for my family that is going to last. So it's a very motivating thing for me to wake up in the morning and to see this tattoo and to always remind myself of what I'm doing every day, why it's worth sitting at the PC creating content, even on the days when I don't feel like like it. The weird thing about content creation is that sometimes, even when you really don't feel like making content, you know that it is your job. And if you're doing it as a full-time content creation, you don't actually have a choice. So sometimes you have to gaslight yourself a little bit into, being a little motivated to do what you have to do, because from what I found, at least on social media, is that a lot of people like to talk about content creation, even full-time content creation, in a very fake way. Not just fake, but also kind of damaging to anyone who is doing full-time content creation. There are people out there who will tell you that when you can't make content, that you just shouldn't make content, which is fine. Of course, we need to take care of our mental health as well. Of course, we need to take breaks. Of course, we need to look after ourselves. But I think that advising people to step away from their source of income, when that is their source of income, is just not a good idea. Rather than stepping away from it, I think that it's important to develop some techniques on how you can keep yourself motivated and not pressured, and to actually enjoy what you're doing. For me, it is choosing to create the content that I actually enjoy. If on a certain day, a certain morning, I wake up and I feel like I just couldn't be bothered with a certain piece of content, I simply don't do that piece of content and instead focus on something that I really enjoy, which I found to be very healing and motivating when it comes to burnout. I went a little bit off topic, but I wanted to explain how it is important for me to actually stay motivated every day, and how this particular tattoo, because it's so connected to my content, is actually a big part of me staying motivated, staying true to myself, and knowing at all times what I'm doing. Now, I'd also like to tell you the story about how I got the tattoo in the first place. I mentioned earlier in the video that this tattoo was not something that I had planned. And I definitely, on the day that I woke up, I didn't know that I would be getting a tattoo on that day. I actually ended up getting this tattoo on a local gaming festival called Gamescom, where I was invited as a content creator. And this actually has a lot to do with me getting the tattoo, but maybe not in the way that you think. So when I went to Gamescom. This was the first local event ever where I went, and I was invited as a creator, and that included the little creator badge and everything. And for some reason, it made me really nervous and anxious, because at the end of the day, I create content for not just local audience, but my content is mostly in English. It is in English. And I wasn't sure if that would be confusing for anyone, because other content creators who were invited were mostly local. It made me nervous because I felt a little bit like an imposter. I didn't really know what to talk about when I talk to people who might encounter me or ask me some questions or something like that. And on the first day of the festival, it was somewhat empty, and I felt really exposed in this large area, and I just didn't know what to do except walk around, check out the stands, and just try to act like a normal person at a gaming convention. So I walked up to this, the first floor of the actual hall, and I saw a little ink studio who was doing these tattoos on the spot. And they had these crazy, crazy discounts on tattoos. And I think that instead of this tattoo costing me like $200 or something like that, it cost me like $30. Because they were doing it on the spot, because they were doing it as a part of their ink studio promotion. It was a one-time opportunity for me to actually, get myself a tattoo and kill time and be in this little, not enclosed area, but enclosed enough to not be asked any questions or approached. So I decided to get myself a tattoo so that I can effectively kill 2 hours of my time so that I don't have to walk around and be asked any questions. So you could say in a strange way that I got myself this tattoo because I'm a huge introvert and I don't know how to act in gaming conventions. So if you're an introvert, now you know that there's always a danger that you're going to walk out of a gaming convention with a tattoo if there's an ink studio available, because believe it or not, these are the thoughts that introverts do go through. If you have an opportunity to not talk to people and separate yourself from the crowd a little bit at the cost of someone literally piercing your skin for the rest of your days, there is a chance that you might just do that. And this is something that I discovered about myself. Now, would I get another tattoo? Probably not. Because to be honest with you, I don't have anything in my life like that I would like to put on my skin. Obviously, some people put, the names or even faces of their family members and whatnot. This doesn't mean that I don't care about them as much. It just means that I don't need a reminder that my family is there because I know that my family is there. However, as per content, I do need a little bit of motivation and a little bit of push from time to time. So I ended up finding an actual purpose to this tattoo after getting it. Getting the tattoo, the whole experience was very painful for me, and this comes from a person who's had a child. I thought that my threshold for pain had changed and that I wouldn't be in as much pain. I was in a lot of pain. This skin here, I found it to be very sensitive, but I also discovered that there are different parts of the skin where getting a tattoo is a lot more sensitive and a lot more painful, and I don't even want to imagine what it feels like. I am very happy to have gone through this experience. I was also asked if I wanted the actual hair to be dyed green the way it is in the picture, and I said no, not just because I was blonde at the time as well, but because I just wanted to, to keep it blank and not tie myself to some past piece of identity like I did with my actual avatar. Now, would I ever consider changing this avatar and re-dyeing this hair, which is very easy even for me to do in an editing software? No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't, because this was a part of myself, the way I was when this avatar was created, and I'm very happy with that. There is nothing that I would ever change about it. So overall, I'm happy with the tattoo. I'm happy with how the tattoo process went. I'm happy with the healing, happy with the ink studio, happy that I have it, happy with what it reminds me of, and overall it was a very good and a positive experience. So I know that I went a little bit off topic when it comes to all of these little bits of lore, but I just wanted to share a little bit of something about me as well, and to help you paint a picture of who I am today as a content creator, what keeps me going, and overall to give you something, something a little fun to learn about me. But anyway, that's gonna be it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know in the comments if you have a tattoo, what your tattoos mean to you, and if you're a content creator, of course, what keeps you motivated, what keeps you going every single day, even when you don't feel like creating a lot of content. Thank you for watching. If you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe, leave a like on the video if you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time. Take care and bye-bye.